This is just some ramblings about MDT, the Microsoft Deployment Toolkit. I'm assuming you know what that is, so it's this kind of collection of tools that Microsoft's got. They have many tools for imaging machines, but this was one of the ones. I was working on projects on it recently, and it's just some musings really on kind of stuff that you need to know. So obviously it's quite helpful if you've got a lot of machines that you want to deploy a standard image to, rather than just have an image like you might create it with Ghost. This builds the image for that particular hardware, so it should be more consistent, more reliable. You don't have to have multiple images, just have one configuration, so it has like a list of tasks. What I was doing was I was updating it. It had the first version of Windows 10. I was updating it to the latest version of Windows 10. So the way that I did that was I downloaded the latest version of Windows 10 ISO. I updated MDT to the latest version. I updated all the applications, or created new instances of the applications that needed to be updated. I then imported the ISO into MDT. Now here's a really important step. What you have to do is, to create the task list, you have to copy the existing XML file. So I created a new task sequence for the new version of Windows 10, but then I went to the deployment share and control. There's the XML files for the existing instance ID, copied those and pasted them in. If you do it at the command line, it works. If you do it in the interface, it just makes a link to it, which is pointlessly unhelpful. I don't know why it does that. Then, before you start any deploying, you need to right click on the deployment share and update and then compress. This takes ages. I left it running overnight. I left it running for about 45-50 minutes. It was just sitting there thinking. And then I found that various people have had this kind of problem where it just wouldn't deploy properly, and I think that's what you need to do. Right click on the deployment share and update. I'm just reading my notes, sorry, while I'm talking to you. But then obviously then for each application you've got to configure the silent install, and this can be a real pain because, as you may be aware, these the MSIs and X's, they're not consistent about what you need to say to make it do a silent install. Sometimes it's /S, /S, /quiet, /silent. So you've got to do a bit of fiddling. So one of the things that I'd like to do if I go back and play with this again is you can actually do a deployment just of the applications. So in the task list, you just remove the bit of installing Windows. I'm not sure that's the best way of actually deploying applications. I think if you, we use Central Stage, but I really like Enable as well. That's probably a much better tool for deploying applications. But certainly in terms of getting the base image there, the tool works really well. I was also experimenting, although I haven't quite got it working yet, with turning the power management onto high performance, because apparently that's supposed to improve the speed that these machines deploy. This particular is an education environment, so they're re-imaging machines all the time. Obviously most people aren't doing that, but nevertheless I thought it's a pretty cool tool, and it's moved a long way from some of their older tools like Microsoft SMS. And as I said, this is just some musings. There's no kind of instructions or anything here, but if you'd like to know more, if there's things that you want to understand, please feel free to comment below. See if I can help you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that